Rocket League. It's a game with a fairly simple concept. You're a car playing soccer. Not much simpler than that, but for such a simple sounding game, it's crazy how large the skill gap actually is. That is why tips are so useful. Even small ones can make a huge difference in game. That's why in this video I'm going to cover some very simple tips that can aid your play in a huge way. It may seem strange to some people that camera settings of all things in Rocket League can affect your gameplay, but it is true. They really do affect how well you can play. The game comes with default camera settings that are honestly pretty bad. They're not good at all. Not to mention how bad the camera shake option is. It's very bad. It's like every time you hit the ball you turn into King when he wrecked at the end of Cars. Okay, maybe it isn't that bad, but still, it hurts your play pretty greatly. You're shaking all over the place and it's hard to focus. Not to mention there are other settings like field of view or camera distance. Those two specifically affect your play very badly. Overall, it is a fantastic idea to mess with your camera settings. It can help your game drastically, from being able to see your teammates on sides of the fields better, or just having a more overall view of what is going on. It's not a bad idea to change these for the better. It's something you want to do right away. To help you out a little, here is a screenshot of my camera settings in-game. Maybe this can be a little benchmark for you guys, or as a position to start messing with yours and help you out a little bit. It is a common belief for new players and even some veteran players that all cars in Rocket League are the same. But that is simply not true. What car you take onto the field can have a big effect on your play. There are a couple cars in the game that are particularly better than others. Those include the Octane, the Dominus, and the Batmobile. These cars are much better than some of their competitors, like say the Roadhog or the Zippy. Of course, two of those three cars I just mentioned are DLC cars, which means you have to pay extra money for them. So if you're looking for another good base game car that isn't the Octane, the Breakout is probably the next closest to the Dominus and the Batmobile. What makes all these cars so different, you might wonder? Well, cars in Rocket League have different hitboxes and different turning radiuses, as well as the hitboxes are on a tilt, so they're not all tilted the same way. Those things might not seem like much, but they do have an effect on your play. For instance, the Dominus, being a flat car, flicks the ball much easier. It is easier to get nice, good, solid, strong flicks off of the car and score goals that way. Whereas the Octane is a taller car, it makes it better for 50-50s. It's much more consistent in getting strong, consistent hits, whereas the Dominus might not. Overall, the car you play with is up to your own style. So try them out. See if you prefer flat cars or maybe the Octane. Who knows? Maybe you'll even find that you like the Merc. Some people like rocking that as well. Playing with your friends is honestly the most fun way to play Rocket League. You can goof around, you can have more fun, it's just an overall better time. However, it can also make you play at a noticeably higher level. This is because Rocket League is a team game. Just like in any team game, communication helps out a ton. Being able to tell your friends that you got the ball is a huge help to them. It helps prevent double commits, which could potentially leave your net open for an easy counterattack if both of you miss the ball. Plus, the more you play with them, the more easily that you can read their play. You will build synergy, which helps out a ton. It results in higher end plays like nice, solid passing plays becoming much easier to execute. I can honestly not stress enough how important this one tip is, especially in ranked. It's very hard to solo queue your way out of ranks that are just that little bit too tough for you, but if you have friends, it does help out a lot. Not only is it way more fun to play with them, but it also helps your play a lot, and it helps their play. It's a win-win for everybody. Trust in itself is not an easy thing to achieve. That's why all social media is filled with people calling other people fake. However, it is vital in high-level Rocket League play. That is because if you don't trust your teammates, you will always go for the ball at the same time. Double commits will happen constantly. Think about it. If your teammate is in a much better position to make a hit, then you should trust them and leave the ball to them and not interfere. I know it's a hard thing to trust your teammates, I get it. Watching your teammate go for an easy save and miss and have the ball roll into your net slowly while all you can do is watch and grab but not save it, I know it's sad. However, it must not ruin the faith you have in them. If it does, it'll only result in more sloppy and chasey play. Plus, when you trust them, then you can get a head start on setting up for your next hit. You can position yourself to receive a pass, which is much better than two people hitting the same ball at the same time. Also, you must remember, you are in the same rank as them, so your skill must be very close. With that in mind, if you would trust yourself to hit the ball in their position, then he'll probably be able to hit the ball as well. Overall, just trusting your teammates is essential in all levels of play in Rocket League. It just takes a little bit of effort to earn that trust. Man, this one is a game changer, and I'm not even exaggerating. We all know how frustrating someone spamming "what a save" over and over in chat is, and I know just how much you want to turn into Jeff Ross and roast them till they uninstall the game.
Come on, man. Charlie, if you're winning, then this must not be a child custody hearing. Only time your kids get to see you is in reruns.
But realistically, it doesn't hurt anyone but yourself. I have felt this way since back when I was in Silver. When you're going off in chat, you play some of the worst Rocket League you will ever play in your entire life. It is better to just ignore it and not worry. When you get into a typing battle, it only takes away from your game. What's better than responding to someone throwing your mom jokes? Beating them and watching them leave the game before the end screen. And let me tell you, it is much easier to do that when you are calm and collective and not flipping out. Your play is just better that way. Getting mad will only throw your own play off. So next time Lil Bobby says you're straight garbo in chat, respond by beating him and showing him that he's even worse. Originally when I planned this video, I had only intended to do 5 tips in it, but as I was typing up the script for tip 5, I had realized that I missed a very important tip. That tip would be changing your keybinds. Now this won't apply to everyone because some people love their base game controls. Krenovi won a world championship on his. But for others, there are significant issues with the default controls that come with the game. Now this is more so talking for players with remotes over keyboard and mouse, but it can apply to both. I don't really know how keyboard binds are set up, so I don't have much input on it. But on a remote, the boost, the power slide, the air roll, the jump, and the ball cam are all on the same area of buttons. That can be hard to manage, especially since most people only use one thumb. Some people use claw, but let's assume you're not. If you change the ball cam to something like pushing down the left joystick, and if you change the air roll and power slide to something like L1 on PS4 or left bumper on Xbox, you can much more easily do higher level plays. Now, it is much easier to hold down the boost while still rolling in the air to get that hard angle shot and drop the ball like Justin in this last World Championship. But now it is also easier to power slide around the ball and boost and tackle the ball quickly. All of this is made easier by a simple key binding change. Changing key bindings is such a simple thing. It is so easily overlooked, and I'm not surprised. But I do see why a lot of people don't. Changing your keybind and trying to redo your muscle memory is really tough, but don't get discouraged. Yes, it's hard in the beginning, but after you redo your muscle memory and map your new controls into your brain, it is much worth the effort that you went through. Eventually, you will adapt to the new settings, and it will make you a better player. It is something that you definitely don't want to overlook just because it seems tough. That is it for me for today. I hope the tips helped. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Nomad Beats.